You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
Blockchain is backed by a lot of strong technology and a lot of strong logic and security over there.
In conference rooms, classrooms, smart homes, and places that are home to power, our products help people connect, communicate, and collaborate. Master a meeting, an opportunity, a moment. And while sometimes our solutions do nothing more than advance the proper mood, more often, they move companies, communities, and even humanity forward. And it's that innovation that fuels us. We are Crestron.
Hello and welcome. You're watching CIOTV.live. In a series of interviews, we try to understand the perspectives of CIOs and IT leaders on various technologies and their strategies. On today's show, we have with us Anirudha Mehta, Head of IT, Prince Pipes, joining us on the show. Thank you so much, Anirudha, for being with us.
My pleasure.
So Anirudha has worked in different sectors such as manufacturing, pharma, capital markets, and banking at various executive levels in IT strategy and operations, delivery leadership, change management, team building, and business analysis. So good to have you with us, Anirudha, and the wide experience that you bring across different sectors. So in your current organization, the Prince Pipes, tell us how big is the IT team and how many people do you have, and how do you see the IT team enabling the power of IT in your company?
Let me first start by saying, we call it the Prince Parivar. And it's been a pleasure being a part of this Parivar. And, we are a good 1,600 employee organization with around about 2,000 crore revenue. And Prince is one of the largest PVC manufacturers and multi-polymer processors within India, which was incorporated in 1987. And it's a highly regarded brand in the Indian industry today. To support this, we have around 25 members in the IT team. With that, we also have a lot of vendors who partner with us to support a lot of initiatives which are going on within the organization. And IT is pretty strong with our management themselves having a keen interest in technology and driving it in line with the strategy.
So yours is a manufacturing organization. I think pipes, plumbing pipes, you're a market leader. So what is the role of technology in your company? Because it seems like a bricks and mortar business, but what are the problems that come in these kind of businesses, and does IT address them or give you solutions?
In simple words, today every company is or will be a data company. All said and done, we all work on data. And today this chat is a simple example of software which has grown onto a certain level that we are sitting at remote places and talking to each other. Again, IT. So today, with all these technology and options available and the kind of way business works, I think IT is a core part of every industry which is over there. So even if I say it's manufacturing, or if I say it's finance, or if it's pharma, or if it's marketing, wherever IT always has a strong hold. And similarly, our organization also, IT has a very strong role to play in various departments like supply chain, marketing, manufacturing, where a lot of data is being captured live and a lot of data is being used for a lot of insights and changes and strategy applications within the organization.
All right. Why I'm asking, Anirudha, is because a lot of smaller companies, entrepreneurs may be watching you, and they face similar problems to perhaps what your company does, be it on supply chain, be it on warehousing, be it on marketing solutions, and they may be looking for real life examples of how technology has solved the problems. Could you give me an example? Say supply line. What is the automation done? What is the benefit?
I'll give you a small, very small example. Today, let's talk about RPA. Now, if I go into a specific example of RPA, there are multiple and humongous number of use cases which are available across the industry. The technology as is at a maturity level right now where everybody is ready to adopt. We have the right skill set also available in the market. And where I would like the newer organizations to reach, or I would also set a target for myself to reach, is a place where my or every business team structure has people and bots. And like I create a budget or a salary structure for my people, and I have that increment thing over here. Similarly, on this side, I have that kind of a tech strategy for my bots to grow every year, and the investment is like salary in the bots. So can I have an org structure which has bots and people? With that thought process, if any startup or any entrepreneurs go ahead, that is where technology will take you. And I don't think it is expensive. There's a very wrong conception that this is very expensive, but there are a lot of organizations which are available, which do it at a real good price point for you. And they would love to partner with you to take this ahead in terms of technology. A simple example, in one of my previous organizations where we were planning to automate and have bots, we did not want to initially invest in a larger automation organization or a RP organization, which would, hit us high on, number of licenses or something. Instead, we hooked up with a local player who created amazing set of bots for us, and turned around a complete data management picture from a 40-member team to a 5-member team. And we had 35 members on our hands, and we could actually move them from mechanical doers to thinkers within the organization.
Definitely, that's a great fillip of using technology efficiency. Now, I want to understand from you that yours is it an essentials business? Because with the new COVID variant, Omicron, around the corner, what's your preparedness for hybrid work if there is an eventuality where there is restricted movement or a lockdown? Uh, what happens to your manufacturing facilities? What happens to the offices, to the employees?
So I think this is a very open question, which I don't think anybody has a certain answer to, because COVID has challenged all logic and reasoning to a different level, and actually, in fact, thrown out all predictions and forecast out of the window. Because with every variant, we are sure that we are prepared to fight with it. We are sure that we have our cannons and guns out to push it out, but it has a different way to get in again. So, where we thought that the initial variant and the lockdown and, we are back, and if there's another variant which comes in, we are pretty much, we have a good idea. We have good amount of data. We have vaccinations and all that. But the Delta variant threw that out of the window. Again, coming on to the Omicron variant, it is not as serious, or it is not as risky, I would rather say. No, I wouldn't say it's not serious, but it's not as risky as the previous variant. But who knows how would it take a turn and where would it take a turn? So, yes, there is a plan. There are standard IT practices. There are standard business continuity plans, which we already have in place. And that's the way we dealt with in the last variant. And we were pretty much good at that point. And we are planning to do the same this time around.
Could you be a little more descriptive? I mean, you're prepared. What does your preparation mean? Will your manufacturing facilities continue to work in case there is a strict lockdown? I'm guessing yours is not an essential service. What are your workers going to be? Are your employees going to be working in hybrid from home or in office or home? Give us some details.
So there is a hybrid, but in case of a lockdown and those kind of government regulations, I don't think I can have my manufacturing companies or the sites working, because it's more of a government scenario and we're a part of non-essentials. With essentials, I had to run, and that's a completely different story as my previous organization, I would rather say, where we are not shut down for a single day. and we had to continue because
So
that was
this is what
pharma.
I'm trying. So, nobody can guess. We've seen that, a black swan event of COVID happening 2 years ago, but you still have to be prepared. You said your business continuity plan is in place. So should manufacturing stop, what would you be focusing on? Where would you deploy technology? What would be your, uh, strength then? Or how do you assess the situation when what your primary work is stopped?
So, if you understand pipes and fittings or the PVC business in India depends a lot on CPVC and other raw materials which are being exported or gotten from a lot of vendors within India. But it is more of a supply market than a demand market, and the rates are driven by the supply. So in case of this kind of a lockdown happening in the future, we are trying to set up that kind of a technology where we have enough insights to make sure that we have the right amount of raw materials or this procurement in place, for within that lockdown period to run the company within our limits and make sure that we have the stocks aligned for things when they reopen. So that's where we are using some previous data as well as forecasting in terms of materials and where we can best gain on the rates.
Okay, great. So you are using some analytics to,
Yes.
determine the inventory, etc. In manufacturing, are you using RPA? You spoke about automation where some minds were free to think and the mechanical work was out of the window. But in manufacturing operations, are you using automation?
So not right now, but yes, the plan is there in the coming year to get into AI as well as RPA.
And what applications? Where are you planning to use these?
So there are multiple applications within the manufacturing area in terms of the machine output of the OTIFs as well as the percentage loss in terms of storage and recycling. So there is a lot of area and data and manual work which is going around over there where there are multiple use cases where we can use AI and RPA. But I would say the first step is RPA and then we would move on to AI.
Okay. And any thoughts on the utilization of AR, VR, maybe for training or any other process that you can think
of? Being frank, we haven't thought of AR, VR as of now. I would rather say it is still, the upcoming technology and, still a lot of use cases are being made. Let them come out, let things mature, and then we might, get into those areas. We definitely have that at the back of our minds, but nothing at the forefront to pick it up and move ahead.
In conference rooms, classrooms, smart homes, and places that are home to power, our products help people connect, communicate, and collaborate. Master a meeting, an opportunity, a moment. And while sometimes our solutions do nothing more than advance the proper mood, more often, they move companies, communities, and even humanity forward. And it's that innovation that fuels us. We are Crestron. Innovation fuels us.
How does your organization support all this IT work and the automation? Are you using your own servers or do you utilize the cloud? What is the thinking there?
We are hybrid as of now. There are some servers which are on-prem as well as a lot of things on ground, but we probably by this year end, we plan to move everything to the cloud.
Everything to the cloud. Why? What is the thinking behind this?
I think that's the way ahead in terms of security, in terms of data availability, even in terms of management and your business continuity plan. And in our again, COVID is like a disaster. So a DR plan with a cloud is much more easier than an on-prem DR plan or a BCP. And again, just one thing I would like to say over here is we are a manufacturing company and we would love to use our minds and our thought process and our strategy in manufacturing and trying to improve manufacturing and trying to improve the output and get great products out for the market rather than bothering about technology and cloud and trying to think on those lines. where we have a lot of experts available who can do that for us.
But you said that in terms of security, but that is where a big concern comes up when everything's on cloud. What if the cloud is hacked? What if the data is stolen? Because and of course, in a hybrid world, entry points are multiple. What benefit do you see by getting everything on the cloud? Does it give you flexibility, scalability? What is the biggest bang for the buck given the risk associated with cloud?
See, I think information security point of view, if you're looking at that in terms of, secrecy of informations and all that stuff, we have the right kind of SLAs in place. So I think cloud is pretty much clean in that place. Now, the question which you put up saying, cloud would be hacked or something. What is the probability of Amazon or a Google Cloud or a Microsoft Cloud being hacked versus my servers being hacked?
I guess they are more vulnerable because they are big and they service so many people. Yes, they have the security, but the hackers are always 2 steps ahead of you.
Correct, but it's having been in organizations where we've faced a lot of ransomware attacks in the previous stints, and we've seen that although being at a level of security, we cannot go up to the level where the giants of the world or the tech giants are at. So that's a bargain, I think, which we need to do as as an organization. Because I would rather say that I would be more satisfied with their kind of security and subject matter expertise which they have versus what I could build within my organization or outsource to somebody.
No doubt. But
at a service level.
No, all said and done, you believe their systems, you believe their technology and the strength of the scale. But if your employees aren't careful, if you are not taking adequate security checks, what can they do? So I want to understand what's your organization doing to keep, cyber thugs at bay.
So we are doing a lot of things. We plan a lot of things. Simple things like we have a lot of cybersecurity awareness programs which are going on within the organizations where we push a lot of details on cybersecurity. We also do carry out internal trainings specifically on cybersecurity and awareness for all our users. And with that, we, to go one step ahead, what are we also planning is, controlled attacks within the organizations to check how vulnerable we are. And, make sure it's more of a, knowledge sharing place where somebody might fall prey to a phishing attack, which is a planned attack. And see how do we take it from there? Because I think that's the only way you can, make people learn.
Okay. So Anirudh, you said that AR, VR are somehow not, mature enough, and you're not considering them as projects for your company in the near future. So what are the projects that you're looking at? Have you identified something using these new age technologies that you want to implement? What is the problem that you see these new technologies can help you find a solution for?
So there are a couple of things. One is what we are looking at is ERP, and we're planning to have our ERP on the cloud and upgrade our current set of processes. And with this, we are targeting 2 things: improve the current set of business processes, and re-engineer a lot of processes which we are following for a lot of time right now, and harmonize our systems to the standard best practices of what the industry is currently following in all typical ERP implementation or modules. And also, with this, we are trying to take it on the cloud, where our upgrades to the ERP is much more easier and faster. And in terms of, once it is on the cloud, I get my newer versions or I get my upgrades, I get newer functionalities very easily. So that is something which we are strongly looking at and considering. And likewise, what you said is RPA and AI. So we are working on BI currently, but we would we want to add AI to the BI, so we get the right insights and the right actions which can be taken with the help of the data, and there is a lot of learning which comes out from there.
So ERP is one that you spoke about. Anything on vendor management or anything more that you want to do with supply chain? Because you're already using the data there to get to better analysis. And anything on the customer side, because you would have like maintenance agreements as well, right? Maintenance that you give to your clients. So anything in these areas that you're looking that there could be scope for utilization of either analytics or AI bots, anything that you've identified.
Uh, uh, See, one is on the CRM side. Also, we are planning to push in AI and bots to actually recognize orders and manage the orders with a minimum with a maximum motive, and a target OTIF of somewhere around 95%, which is very good for this kind of an industry. And with this, we could achieve 100% realization of order within the stipulated time frame.
You know, ever since the pandemic broke out, we have seen, utilization of technology at its maximum. People who were hesitant about it just had to go ahead and do it for continuity, and it has helped many organizations. Now, does this, change the way the tech departments are seen in companies? You earlier said that your management is very supportive. Have you seen a change in how the IT department is viewed in companies because of, the pandemic and how technology is being used now?
So I would rather say I'm lucky to have having worked in such organizations that value IT at par with business, and have a management which supports me on the IT initiatives, as well as are more than happy or inquisitive to have more technologies in place and invest in technology and consider IT as a business driver or a business enabler. So that's where I come from with a couple of my previous organization as well as the current organization. So that's a lot more easier for me. But yes, having said that, having met a lot of colleagues who have worked in organizations where IT was more of a support function, have come back and said, that we are in a very good position right now, where they consider us as partners or business enablers, and we are getting a good space, good amount of investment. And I think that's good overall for a industry, and I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise.
All right. So IT departments are now being seen as enablers, but are they considered as value enhancers? Are they considered as profit centers now? Because earlier it was just seen as a cost, a support
See, although there is a lot of talk around creating or saying that I need a ROI on my IT investments, I need a direct data mapping on my IT investments, which is tangible benefits. But if I also go to see in terms of non-tangible benefits, there are humongous amount of non-tangible benefits, but unfortunately our industry is such that nobody's measured them or nobody's brought them out at par with a tangible benefit. But likewise, what I said is, for me, measuring IT or measuring the ROI on IT in an organization would be the day IT is at par with employees, and I have bots in the org chart. That is the day I think IT is a profitable center. Because today human beings are, earlier number of human beings in an organization was a cost center. And today they value human intelligence or subject matter expertise, and people are making sure that they hire good employees, create a good culture within the organization. And that has changed. A lot of companies organize in knowledge or invest in knowledge. invest in training, invest in employees. I think that's the same way, that's the same thought process which can come from for IT would be a real change.
And how soon do you see that happening?
I see that the pace is coming up, but I'm again, the day I can have bots in my org chart, I will truly say that IT is at that level. Because every business, for me, my finance head coming and telling me, he said, I have 5 employees and I have 5 bots. And my bot is a vice president for accounting, or this bot is a guy for my purchase and costing, or my supply chain head coming and telling me that, this guy is my procurement head and he does this, and if those kind of bots are there in my org chart, I would say that's the actual change which will happen.
Okay, that sounds very, very futuristic. So, you mentioned some of the projects you want.
I am sorry to, get into this, but I would rather say it's not futuristic. Having those simple bots start up with a lot of work within your organization is very easy. And I would urge a lot of.
I'm not doubting the use of AI and bots at all. I'm only saying the vice president being a bot sounds a little futuristic, because so far it's only we humans who have
Yes.
had these designations, right? Thank you so much, Anirudha, for joining us and
Pleasure.
sharing with us your views on technology, its usage, and how your company is benefiting. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That was Anirudha of Prince Bytes talking to us about the use of technology. We keep on chatting with technology heads, experts, futurists to find out how they view technology and the use cases they have seen in their organizations. We'll keep up the chat on CIOTV. We'll wrap it up here, but come back for more on the same space, CIOTV. See you again.